Stress versus anxiety. We're going to talk about the difference between the two with this week's tip of the week. We've recognized the faculties are two very different things, so we've decided to separate them in order to help you better understand them. First, let's start with stress. So many people, mostly all of us, have experienced stress at some point in our life that have been attributed to stress at work, coworkers, deadlines, when teachers were mean to us, stuff like that. That's stress. There's so many things that can bring people stress, but stress is different than anxiety. Anxiety is a clinical disorder that's diagnosable by a mental health professional. Well, stress, on the other hand, is something more like a natural human experience. So we want to make sure that when we're talking to texters, we understand the difference between stress and anxiety. Do they overlap in many significant ways? Of course they do. Anxiety is just a bit more severe than stress. So people that are anxious are often feeling very restless. They have difficulty remaining calm. They always feel like they're keyed up, or they feel tense, that they're experiencing symptoms like rapid heart rate, sometimes high blood pressure. People with anxiety disorders never feel content, and it often interferes with their sleep as well. One of the key differences between stress and anxiety is the fact that stress is generally something that we can overcome on our own. We can find a sense of purpose, and we can find ways to make an action plan to help somebody more in control of things that they're stressing them out. Unfortunately, many times with anxiety, it may take medication and therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy in order to find a real solution, the underlying anxiety. I've given you a little bit about stress and anxiety and the difference between the two, but as you know, they can overlap. When you're talking with someone who's stressed, they may find the reason that they're stressing, like family or a job or something about school, but they know the reason that they're stressing out. Now with someone with anxiety, they don't know what's going on. They're just feeling this anxiety and this panic. And so it's kind of hard to identify it for themselves. That's where we come in. Within the conversation, we want to offer strength IDs and validation and letting them know that we're there to listen. In the end, we're coming up with a plan of action for them that they've created and giving them control of the situation. On the other hand, you may be talking with a texter who's experiencing true anxiety and a true panic attack, and we might have to explore about past treatments they may have had. And if they haven't had any, we may want to explore about seeking out treatment and getting a psych evaluation to see if medication may be needed in their situation. But remember, we're not there to diagnose them. So if they say they have anxiety and a panic disorder, or even just say anxiety and panic, we don't say, oh, you have a mental health disorder. We empower them to seek support. And if that's through a doctor or if that's through a therapist, that's what we want to do. We want to empower them and have them make the choice for themselves. That's the importance about what we do. There you have it, the difference between anxiety and stress. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, just comment on the network and we can do our best to answer those for you. I will see you on the platform. Have a great day. Stress, on the other hand, is something solution. Excuse me.